Hi, I'm Jennifer. Welcome to Orton Gillingham Coaching. We talk about Orton Gillingham being a multisensory approach where we want a student to hear the language, see the language, and write the language. The three-pronged approach, we combine these and call it multisensory, and that means that we want to use all of these senses to learn the English language. But the auditory portion can sometimes get left out because it's much easier to go through the deck of cards and see it, and we do say it, but also just do some worksheets. But the auditory portion is extremely important, and so that's why I'm singling that out today. And auditory exercises should be included in every lesson. And so some of the first ones that we use are called phonemic awareness exercises. But first, before I go into what those are, I would like to define the difference between phonemic awareness and phonological awareness, because they are different and you should know the difference before doing these. So a phoneme is the smallest unit of sound in the language. It is what makes, that can still manipulate a word. So for instance, when we say, what is the word mat, if you replace the with a p, and it becomes pat. So the phoneme is to p sounds. So that is phonemic awareness. It is the understanding and manipulation of sounds of the language. Whereas phonics or phonetic awareness encompasses phonemic awareness. It is the umbrella. It has syllables, syllable types, words, rhyming. It has everything, including phonemes. And those do have auditory exercises as well. But today specifically, I wanted to give some examples of phonemic awareness and phonemic exercises because they are some of the first ones you can use. They're very handy and they're great for auditory learning for students. And so incorporating these into your lesson plans can be very easy, and they're great for young kids. Older too, but younger, you could start little and get bigger and bigger. I hope you'll look at the article that I have attached to this video because it has some good examples and some practice words as well. And it has all of these things that I'm talking about in writing. So don't worry if you're going through this video and you're confused or thinking, oh no, I'm not getting all this, because it is in writing and I'll have it in the description of this video. How do we incorporate these phonemic awareness exercises into our lesson plans? It's divided into categories, and I'm going to go through each category, but we don't include all of them in a lesson, but we want to hit them all eventually in our lesson plans. And so the other thing that we want to do is be very clear about what we're looking for here with a student. Be very clear that you're looking for the sounds. Say, we're looking for the sounds. Somehow get that across to the student, exactly what you're looking for, because it could be a little confusing when you've been doing writing and reading. It's a lot different than just manipulating sounds and words. For instance, phonemic isolation, you're looking for, what is the first sound in the word jam? J. So that's what I mean by being real clear about looking for sounds. Phonemic isolation is recognition of individual sounds in words. And a teacher would say, what is the first sound in van? Student says, the first sound in van is V. Then we have phonemic identity, recognition of the same sounds in different words. So teacher says, what is the same sound in the words fix, fall, and fun? And student says, the same sounds in those is F. Then we have phoneme categorization, which is a set of 3 or 4 words and one doesn't belong. So which doesn't belong in these 3? Bed, bun, and rug. Student says rug doesn't belong. It doesn't start with B. Then you have phoneme blending. Teacher says, what is the word b-i-g? Student says b-i-g is big. Then teacher says, well, now let's write the letters that spell b-i-g. Student writes on a piece of paper b-i-g. Teacher writes on the board b-i-g. Let's all read the word. Everybody says big. Then you have phoneme segmentation. breaking a word into separate sounds by tapping or counting out the number of letters in it and then writing those letters and then putting them on the board. For example, the teacher says, how many sounds are in the word grab? Children or students, g, r, a, b, 4 sounds. Now, let's write the letters that go with g, r, a, b, right on piece of paper, G-R-A-B. Teacher writes it on the board, G-R-A-B. And everybody reads. Now let's read the word grab. Then we have phoneme deletion, where recognize a word that remains when a phoneme is taken off. So teacher says, what is the word smile without this? Student says, the word smile without this is mile. Then you have the opposite, phoneme addition. A teacher says, make a new word by adding a phoneme. Teacher says, what do you have if you put a s on the word park? Student says, you have the word spark, spark. Then you have phoneme substitution. So substitute one phoneme for another to make a new word. Teacher says, the word is bug. What do you get when you change the g to n? You get the word, student says you get the word bun when you remove the G. So just keep in mind, those are the categories. And so just keep in mind when taking this information, how I said that phonemic awareness is just a narrow portion of phonics or phonological awareness. And the skills I'm presenting here are very important for identifying individual sounds in words. But we still have to see, say, write all 3 prongs. But sometimes the hearing can get left out a little bit because it's easier to give out those worksheets, do those cards, and do other things where you see it and write it a lot. But the hearing portion is absolutely just as important in the multisensory approach. And that's why we're singling out the hearing, the phonemic awareness today. Thank you, and I hope you'll subscribe, and if you have any questions, drop in a comment below. Thanks.